working with on the hose track. Don't revert back to default mode because all these bulls are using this way. I said, they can do it. We just stated your thing, and if somebody says something to you, so that's how I've learned how to do it.
Good evening, and welcome to the Board of Mayor and Aldermen meeting. This is the April 14th, 2026. We'll call this meeting to order. First, we're going to have the prayer, and saying our prayer tonight is a senior from Fayetteville High School, DJ Shockley. She is a member of the Fayetteville High School Marching Band, the Beta Club, and the First Priority member. Also, for the pledge, we have Ralph Baskin students here with us tonight. They are the children of Damani Hughes and Ashley Hughes, Evan and Izzy Hughes. So if y'all will come forward and the audience please stand.
Here bow our heads. Dear Heavenly Father, I come to you today and I thank you for this meeting, Lord. I thank you for everyone standing in this room. I thank you for our leaders. I thank you for our school members. I thank you for our students, and I thank you for, most of all, for you, Lord. I thank you for the opportunity to stand here. I thank you for the opportunity for all of us to open our eyes and to set out to make this world as good as you intended, Lord. I pray that this meeting, everyone would move safely and always have the most you thing to say, Lord. I pray that we would always have you in mind and to make our city a better place. I thank you for our entire city, the world, and most importantly, the chance to wake up again. And it's in your heavenly and holy name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
Attention, salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Okay, we'll move forward with item number 4, that's adoption of the agenda. You have been provided an amended agenda. This was to add item J, resolution 2026-12, the Tennessee Rescue Squad grant. Do I have a motion to accept this agenda, or is there any changes? This agenda will stand as presented. Also, you've been presented the minutes for the regular meeting minutes for March the 10th. Are there any corrections to this meeting? Hearing none, those minutes will stand as presented. Also, you've been given the special call meeting minutes, March 23rd, 2026. Are there any corrections to those minutes? Hearing none, those minutes will stand approved as presented. There was no one that signed up for public comments today, so we'll move straight into our recognitions and oath of offices. I got a call earlier today that for the Child Abuse Center Juniors House, they were unable to make it tonight, but we're going to go ahead and read the proclamation. The Office of Mayor Donna Hartman, Fayetteville, Tennessee, Lincoln County, proclamation, April is Child Abuse Prevention Month. Whereas the public cares deeply about child abuse and the majority report that the child abuse is a very important moral issue to them. Whereas child abuse and neglect is a complex and ongoing problem in our society, affecting many children in Fayetteville, Tennessee. And whereas every child is entitled to be loved, cared for, nurtured, feel secure, and feel free from verbal, sexual, emotional, and physical abuse and neglect. And whereas it is the responsibility of every adult who comes in contact with a child to protect the child's inalienable right to safe and nurturing childhood. And whereas the County of Lincoln, Tennessee has dedicated individuals and organizations who work daily to counter the problem of child maltreatment and to help parents obtain the assistance they need. And whereas our communities are stronger when all citizens become aware of child maltreatment prevention and become involved in supporting parents to raise their children in a safe and nurturing environment. And whereas our communities are stronger when all citizens become aware. Whereas effective child abuse prevention programs succeed because the partnerships among families, social services agencies, schools, religious and civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. And whereas all citizens, community agencies, faith organizations, businesses will work to increase their efforts to support families. Now therefore I, Donna Hartman, Mayor of the City of Fayetteville, Tennessee, do hereby proclaim the month of April 2026 to be Child Abuse Prevention Month in Fayetteville, Tennessee, and I'll call upon all citizens, community agencies, religious organizations, medical facilities, and businesses to increase their participation in efforts to prevent child abuse, thereby strengthening the communities in which we live. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused to be affixed the great seal of the City of Fayetteville, Tennessee, on this 14th day of April in the year of our Lord, 2026. Thank you. We will now move to Director Browning. He has a recognition for one of his employees.
Thank you, Mayor. Board. Tonight I want to recognize one of our very own Parks and Recreation Department after 31 years of service. If you ever see anyone with a Parks and Rec shirt on, with glasses and a cap, you'll know it's Ray. And chances are he'll be at the softball fields or the baseball fields, getting them prepared for a game. And I'd like to thank the Fayetteville High School and Coach Hastings for their support tonight, coming out, and Ray didn't know they were going to be here. So they came out to support. This certificate honoring 31 years of exceptional service and dedication. This certificate is proudly presented to Mr. Ray Pullen in recognition of his 31 years of exemplary service and outstanding dedication to the City of Fayetteville's Parks and Recreation. His unwavering commitment and selfless contributions are truly admirable. His steadfast devotion to serving the community upholds the highest standards and is sincerely appreciated. Presented this 14th day of April 2026. Thank you.
We'll move to the oath of office for our police department. Derek Jordan and Ryan Thomas, and Chief Jennings will be alongside them. Okay, if you guys will repeat after me, I think you have your certificates there. Okay, raise your right hand, please. I state your name.
I, Derek Jordan,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will honestly and faithfully discharge the duties
I will honestly and faithfully discharge the duties
of the office for the City of Fayetteville, Tennessee,
of the office for the City of Fayetteville, Tennessee,
to which I have been appointed
to which I have been appointed
and which I am about to assume,
and which I am about to assume,
without partiality,
without partiality,
favor, or affection,
favor, or affection,
and that I will uphold the Constitution of the State of Tennessee
and that I will uphold the Constitution of the State of Tennessee
and the United States of America,
and the United States of
and ordinances of the City of Fayetteville,
and the Charter and ordinance of the City of Fayetteville,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congratulations. Glad to have you. Now we're moving to our reports tonight. Tonight we have with us CEO Britt Dye of Fayetteville Public Utilities.
Thank you, Mayor. Well, I'll start with the water. If you hadn't been around town, you know we had been working everywhere. We're tearing up the streets, making a mess, starting to clean up some more tomorrow, hopefully. But so far, we've installed over 25,000 feet of water line throughout the city. And tremendous pressure. You saw one today, Mayor, down here on East Market Street where a plug shot up out of line because it was getting ready to make a tap. And that's what happened on the west side of the square earlier this past year. So we have replaced up to 29 new fire hydrants at this time as well. So we still got a lot of 6-inch, 8-inch line to put in. Where you see the steel plates, we got a lot of steel valves. We still got to insert on the water lines to make our connections for the other streets that tear off those streets. We'll be moving probably next week from that area over from First Avenue, Swanson Scenic, Hatcher, Skyview, Morningside Drive. And we're going to be going down to the south end of Bellevue Street, going toward Hedgemont. We're getting on Hedgemont, going all the way down to Davison Drive. So that'll be the next section of town that we'll be repairing. And we will have some side streets, which is on Davison Drive, as well down to Sunset, that we'll be working in that area, getting ready to do some more rehab. The other parts, I know that Jack and I had talked about Kiwanis, Clay, McDonald Street, Elmwood Terrace, about some of that part of doing some paving. And right now, the work that we got to do over there of cutting in valves, even if he were to pave, and Jack and I had talked about this, that, you know, the big trucks and everything running up and down the part that's paved, it really wouldn't be of any benefit to pave it with the big trucks and everything running up and down the road. So we hope maybe if we can get some Hedgemont or some other areas that might want to look at paving, you know, just let us know when we work that out too. For Petersburg, we hope to build the middle of May. So I know that we'll be doing something on May the 4th as far as reading. It's going to be a tremendous challenge on how their meters have been read. Not really read, they've been estimated now for quite some time, so the bills are going to be, some's going to be high, some's going to be low, some's going to be really high, and some's going to be really low, because they've just been estimating them. But once we get in there, they'll have a partial billing. We won't be bank drafting the first water bill, because we don't know if they want to add it to the bank draft of all utilities being together. So they'll have that option coming back later and say if they want everything bank draft at one time. On the electric side, we're doing a lot of improvements, system size, improving the size of our conductors down around the Blanche area, down around the old Huntsville Highway as well, of increasing that size of conductor around Coldwater, getting ready to pick up some additional loading in that area. You know, you got growth coming from the south. You got it out toward the Park City area, out further south toward the state line, Old Quick School Road. We're building in that area as far as that residential loads picking up. We're also getting fiber put into the country club, Twin Oaks Manor. We're about ready to wrap that up. We still got some cleanup. We're over in Timberlake Estates, and we'll be moving from there to another underground. And once the underground part's done, we'll be doing the aerial part of replacing most all the fiber inside the city, because it being the first part that we built back in 1999. So it'll be fiber to the home, be some additional requirements that you'll have to get the fiber to be able to activate it inside the house, so, we'll be sending door hangers and let you know what's gotta be done if you're interested in fiber. Eventually, you'll have to hook up to the fiber because we will no longer support the old cable plant because of new technology and everything else is becoming obsolete. The other part that we got, tree trimmers are working everywhere. You know, we had a dry season right now we're going into. We had a wet season. A lot of dead trees with the ash trees with the bug that killed all those trees. There are a lot of them falling out of the right of ways. It's getting our power lines. So we've been trying to keep up with that. It's been a challenge, and but they're doing a great job so far to be able to keep up. Gas side, we're adding additional gas lines down around Bellevue, down around the south part of the county as well to increase pressure. And with our other tree trimming crews, along working beside the gas on some way of keeping the right of ways, because even though it's underground, we still have to keep the right of ways cut out for that gas line that goes up through there because you can fly and mark it. Everything else so far is running good. We're starting to work on our budgets. Instead of having 5 different budgets this time, we're going to be looking at 6 different budgets this time coming Petersburg. So we'll be looking at those numbers and see what they're going to look like coming up. Budgets are very, very tight. We've been able to hold our own so far with the cost of everything that's increasing. You know what's going on in the foreign countries, of how it affects everything that goes on here, especially with fuel. Porcelain, we use a lot of porcelain as far as insulators, those type of things, steel, copper, you know, everything's increasing. So we have to be sure we keep on top of that to see what we're going to be able to handle inside our budgets. But other than that, so far, Mayor, Board, I know we're tearing up streets. I apologize for it, but you know we're in progress. Made a lot of good progress on this water. I am totally surprised of everything we got done so far. You know we're about 38% done. Still got another 2.5 years to go. So we'll have other roads to run. So I'll take on any questions.
Any questions?
With the update to fiber, what should, I guess, the citizens expect internet speeds to be at with that?
Well, I can't give you that number exactly because some places are faster than others. It's going to be a whole lot faster than what they're getting on the cable plant if they got the cable. But it's going to be pretty high in speed. Everybody that has hooked up to the new fiber, even out in the rural communities, very, very fast. Now, I mean, it's ready to download, especially.
Yeah.
You know, so tremendous improvement. But I can get you those numbers.
Thank you.
Yes, Britt, today I left going to lunch. I saw what I thought was a geyser over here, and I thought, okay, let me drive this way. Went around there, I didn't see the fire department, didn't see FPU trucks. I thought, we've got a problem, and so I had to call you.
Yes, ma'am.
And, but if people see things and it looks suspicious, call FPU and they'll tell you, or they'll be on their way out there. But, you know, water leaks and different things, so
Yes,
they
ma'am.
want to hear from you.
You know, some of the leaks that you see now that's going on where we've been working, it's the old pipe that's still in service because we have to have everything in service till we get all the connections made and get the new line tested. But we run across some old pipe this time that's it's almost like a triangle kind of shaped pipe, and it's hard to fit a connector like if you got Old Mulberry Road up under the underpass. There's a leak right there, and that old pipe is shaped like that. And we haven't found anything yet to be able to clamp it tight enough to keep the water from leaking. But we got one at Cotton Mill, that's just an old valve, all that's gonna get replaced. And but I'm glad to see the pressure because before it wouldn't have never shot that water up that high. So I'm proud of that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now we'll move into our standing committee reports. First up is Chief Bergman with the Fire Department.
Thank you, Mayor. For the month of March, the fire department responded to 117 calls for service. This included 92 medical and rescue calls, 4 fires, 4 hazardous materials calls, 1 non-emergency, and 16 public service. That is my report.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Now for the police department, Chief Jennings.
Thank you, Mayor. For the month of March, we had 122 incidents, 48 arrests, 38 traffic crashes, a total of 94 citations were issued, and 1,491 police activity events. Our criminal investigation division has 539 cases on hand. 13 are new, closed 5. They made 2 arrests and 4 grand jury presentments. I also want to give the guys recognition. for, the first quarter of this year, there's a 36% decrease in traffic crashes in our city. It's because of our guys working hard. I'll move on to animal control. There was 10 calls answered in the city, 28 in the county. 10 animals were brought in from the city, 50 were brought in from the county. Had a total of 19 adoptions, had 1 return due to being unable to afford the animal, and 3 more adoptions pending. 9 were reclaimed, 4 transferred to Nashville, and 34 to Horse Plus. Total animals in the shelter as of April 1st is 11, with 3 of those pending adoption. Also, we underwent a state veterinary inspection for a facility license renewal. That was completed. There were only 2 recommendations, and they were immediately implemented. And that's my report.
Thank you. Finance Department, Talia Burton.
Good evening, Mayor. Our local option sales tax received in March was $304,479. This is an increase of 9.2% from last year. State share sales tax received in March was $67,303. This is an increase of 0.16%. And we did receive an outstanding payment for February 2026 occupancy tax. So this changed our total payment to $7,187. This is still a decrease of 23% from last year. Also, you all have been provided with an updated statement of cash balances as of February 28, 2026 on your iPads. And finally, we have a reminder that budget hearings will be held on April 21st and April 28th at 4:30 p.m. in the auditorium. The third session, if needed, has been tentatively scheduled for April 30th at 4:30 p.m. And that is my report.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving on to Parks and Rec, Director Brown.
Thank you, Mayor. Happy to report that the farmer's market is open, and we will be having brand new fans up this year to help keep that place cool. Our new lighting apparatus should be ready for the install at Don Davidson softball field before the season begins on the 27th of April. And getting ready for the pool season with 15 lifeguards. Miss Bridget Smith is our pool manager, and 1 new slide to break in. And our March events, spring sports are up 37% in baseball, softball, and volleyball. Mr. Ray and the rest of our guys have done a wonderful job. The fields, I don't think, have looked this good in a long time, so shout out to them. We'll thank our local businesses for their sponsorship and support. And our Champions League is doing really good. Coach Billy Jack Netherland is having practices and looking forward to their game schedules. And our Easter extravaganza was a great event. Miss Abby did a wonderful job getting that taken care of and planned for our citizens. That's our report.
Thank you. I'm getting a lot of calls from the public about Parks and Recs and how wonderful the ball fields look, so thank you. Public Works Director Jack Williams, he's taken out of town, so we're going to let Kevin report for him tonight.
Good evening, Mayor Boyd, and thank you. Yes, Jake is away at a state conference, and he will be returning tomorrow, but he wanted me to report that in the month of March, he had 268 tons of household waste. He had 140 tons of yard waste, 30 work orders, and he still has 2 out on medical leave. And just for board information, he and I have a scheduled call about the garbage truck arrival when he returns, so we hopeful that we will have a latest update by Thursday.
The days are counting, he should have it by April.
Yeah, 6 months out.
Planning Coast Department, Director Jensen.
Thank you, Mayor. 17 permits were issued in the month of March. The total project valuation was $6,566,556. The total permit fees were $8,945. 160 property maintenance violations were logged in March. We have several court hearings scheduled throughout the remainder of April for some property maintenance violations. And I wanted to mention, as we move through the spring and summer months, to please remember that we have property maintenance regulations
Make sure to keep your yard mowed, free of trash and debris. A reminder to not blow the grass clippings into the street. It's very hazardous for motorcycles. And we do have a sign ordinance, so please be mindful not to attach yard sale signs and temporary signs to utility poles and keep them out of right-of-ways. It is election year, and political signs can be placed in the city limits beginning on May the 18th. Our planning commission meeting this month will be at a special time on April 28th at 3:30, and this will allow for the budget hearing that is also scheduled that day at 4:30. That's my report.
Thank you. Moving back to Kevin, we'll have our city administrator's report.
Thank you again, Mayor. As far as my report you have seen from the previous month, as we prepare for the ongoing month, we're looking and emphasizing a lot on grants, whether grants we already have received or grants we're applying, or just looking towards grants. So a lot of emphasis is on grants. We also, the entire office is about budget prep. You heard our finance director mention budget, but we're all focused on the information to provide to the board in our work sessions on that. In addition to that, Natalia and I are working on closing out our current bonding standards, so we'll be working towards giving you all information and recommendations for the next probably 60 to 90 days. We do have a fleet management schedule based at the end of this month based on what we talked about at the board and putting together a comprehensive fleet management plan. So we're working on that. We got a meeting citywide, and I think that date is April 29th. We are looking at some property and real estate management activities as they're increasing in the office, as well as economic development. Natalia had mentioned about one of our properties in her occupancy tax. So I do have a meeting scheduled with them next Monday afternoon. So we're hoping we can bring that in and change those numbers to a positive, hopefully. And unless there's any questions, that concludes my report.
Okay. Any questions for Kevin? We do not have any unfinished business on the agenda, so we'll move directly into new business. The first item is the Tiger Tracks event permit. You've got a copy of that application in your packet, and this is an annual event that happens at Beth Askin School. And this has gone through the police department. The chief has signed off on it, and I'll need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Allen, second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Keenan. Any discussion? Debbie, call a vote.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
That motion carries. Item B, approval for a new SRO position. You have been provided a copy of the memorandum of understanding between the Fayetteville City School System and the Fayetteville Police Department and the City of Fayetteville. We will look at approving a new SRO position, and then the next item will be approving the grant that will pay for this SRO position. This position, SRO position, will be at the alternative schools in the city. So, do I have a motion to approve? Motion by Vice Mayor Bradford, second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Small. Any discussion? Debbie, we call vote?
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
That motion carries. Item C, this is approval of the amended SRO grant. We currently have the endowment grant at the amount of $225,000, and that covers 3 SROs for 3 of the city schools. And then the additional request is $75,000 to cover the SRO officer at the alternative school. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Alderman Keenan, second by Vice Mayor Bradford. Any discussion? Debbie, call the vote.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
That motion carries. Item D, this is an MOU for the County Volunteer Fire Department. This came to us through our fire department. And the memorandum states that it will be between the City of Fayetteville and Lincoln County Volunteer Fire and Rescue Department. This is, whereas on occasion, that exists where Fayetteville Fire Department assists the Lincoln County Volunteer Fire personnel with events when requested to do so. The Lincoln County Volunteer Fire personnel will assist the City of Fayetteville in events when they are requested to do so. Whereas, when the fire protection entity assists each other, each entity is using its own protective gear. So whereas the parties to this agreement deem it necessary and appropriate to enter into this agreement to allocate the cost of damages to protective gear occurring while one fire protection is helping another. The parties of this memorandum of understanding hereby agree to the following. Protective gear worn by personnel for either fire protection entity shall meet current NFPA standards and shall be less than 10 years since the manufacturing date. Each party to this agreement shall retain responsibility for the major repair from normal wear and tear and or replacement of protective gear. In the event that the protective gear is damaged, contaminated, or rendered inserviceable during an incident or event, the primary jurisdiction or command of the event at the time of use shall be responsible for the cost of repair and replacement of protective gear. And then it goes on to say, no repair shall be made by any unauthorized entity. It goes into participating in the approved fire department event and protective gear being worn by personnel other than the entity participating. This agreement shall not apply to assistance provided by other entities to the other for emergency response pursuant to the mutual aid agreement existing between the parties. Any modification of this memorandum of understanding shall be made in writing and shall not become effective until approved by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the City of Fayetteville. Do I have a motion to approve this MOU?
Move to approve.
Motion by Alderman Allen, second.
Second.
Second, Alder. Any discussion?
Yeah, I have a quick question for Davey. Does the commission not have to sign off on this, or does the?
They will.
They will, so.
It will go to the county attorney first. It'll go to Doug Campbell first, and then it'll go to their attorney.
Okay.
He'll review it, and then it'll go to the commission. However, his fire committee has already semi-approved to seek this MOU.
Okay, so will the MOU, we'll sign it, City of Fayetteville, the mayor will sign it, but then will the mayor sign it, not Doug sign it?
Whatever their protocols say, go ahead, Johnny.
They have a board, so we discussed this the other day.
That's right.
Preparation of this, unlike our fire department, the county fire rescue has its own board.
Okay.
So I think it's
They have the
an entity
authority.
that would be
Okay.
capable of approving and signing.
Okay.
And if they decide they even want the county commission to approve it, I guess we could,
Okay.
we could recalibrate it and do that.
Okay, thank you.
Because on this document, it has Doug Campbell as the signer. Any other questions?
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
That motion carries. Item E, this is another memorandum of understanding entered into between the City of Fayetteville and the Lincoln County Fair, Inc. Whereas the fair is desirous of having fire protection when events are being conducted on the premise of the Lincoln County Fairgrounds located at 1003 Hedgemont Avenue, Fayetteville, Tennessee. Whereas the city enters into this memorandum of understanding for purpose of establishing terms and conditions for the provision of fire protection by and through the city's fire department to the premises of the Lincoln County Fairgrounds where events are being held on the premises. The parties to this memorandum of understanding hereby agrees to the following. The fair shall notify the chief of Fayetteville Fire Department or his or her designee when an event is being conducted at the Lincoln County Fairgrounds for which fire protection is sought by the fair. Such notification shall be made at least 30 days prior to the scheduled event. The fire department will supply personnel, apparatuses, and equipment to the fire, for fire protection during each event when requested to do so according to the terms of this memorandum. The chief of the fire department shall have discretion to determine the appropriate number of personnel, apparatuses, and equipment needed for the provision of fire protection at that event. The fair shall compensate the City of Fayetteville for providing fire protection personnel at the rate of $27 per hour per employee assigned to this event. Following the completion of each event, the Chief of Fayetteville Fire Department shall notify the fair in the amount due within 30 days of the event. Payment for such services shall be made to the City of Fayetteville by the fair within 30 days of its receipt of the notification of the amount due. The fair shall also compensate the City of Fayetteville for damages of any equipment occurring while protecting the event conducted at the fairgrounds. Payment for damages to equipment shall be made to the City of Fayetteville by the fair within 30 days of its receipt of notification of the amount due. Equipment being used in the course of providing fire protection at events conducted at the Lincoln County Fairgrounds shall be inspected by the fire department prior to each event to determine its condition. The fair shall also have opportunity to conduct an inspection of the fire department equipment prior to the start of each event upon notice of the chief of the fire department that seeks to do so. In the event of a dispute, the City of Fayetteville and the fair as to the amount owed to the city by the fair for provision of the fire protection and or damages to equipment, the parties shall seek to resolve each dispute through a meeting with the city administrator, the chief of the fire department, and the president of the fair board, or their designee. If the parties are unable to resolve such a dispute, this agreement shall be deemed to be determined, and the city shall no longer provide fire protection at events conducted on the premises of the Lincoln County Fairgrounds. While providing fire protection services during this event conducted at the Lincoln County Fairgrounds, the city fire department personnel shall conduct themselves in a reasonable, prudent manner. This memorandum of understanding shall not be used as a basis for liability or recovery by the fairground or its invitee, nor shall this agreement supplant or otherwise affect the protection and defenses available to the city through the Tennessee's tort liability. Any modification of the memorandum of understanding shall be made in writing and shall not become effective until approved by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the City of Fayetteville. And this has, signing is the city mayor and the Lincoln County Fair, Inc. by its president, Dale Kent. And this came to us through the fire department, and it was kind of questionable, and a memorandum of understanding was needed because the fairground actually sits on county property. So we're the city going onto the county property. So do I have a motion to accept this memorandum of understanding?
So moved.
First by Alderman Alders, second Alderman Keenan. Any further discussion?
I do have one question, I guess, for the city administrator. This MOU is strictly with the fair board and for fair events, including the fairs and the truck pulls or whatever they may have. Any third party renting the fairground, we're not involved in that.
We're not, as a matter of fact, Attorney Davey and I had a discussion about that. It's basically special events, so they're not the private, smaller, but anything that's bigger or larger that are authorized by the fair board, but not the smaller private.
Will this protection cover the food vendors in the back, because that would be a third party?
If there's an emergency inside the fairgrounds, it'll be an emergency call, wouldn't be the fire protection given to the event. So if that does occur, it would be just like a regular emergency call, and on-duty personnel will respond to that.
Any other discussion, questions?
Sorry, to piggyback off of Jeff's question, so say that, and I apologize for doing hypotheticals here, but say the Fair Inc. allows there to be a truck and tractor pull not sanctioned by the Fair Inc., they come in, they rent the facilities, they need fire protection. Would that come to us, and then we would charge them the same thing, or how would that work?
The fair board had to request that, and we
Okay.
would charge the fair board.
Okay,
However, they charge it would be on their discretion.
okay, thank you.
I think the way it was understood by us or presented to us, that there is a fair board, that's the stakeholders, and they lease the property, the fairgrounds, to the Fairground Inc. And they run the fair, like you said, tractor pulls, concerts, and different things like that. So I think if the stakeholders were gonna have an event, it would have to be outside the time that the fair board has it leased, and they would have to ask for their event.
Understood, thank you.
Any other discussion, questions? We appreciate you doing this, David, working on this really hard. This is something that's been needed for many years, and it's been a handshake deal and agreement all the time, but every time an event happens, it's like, well, who's responsible, who's supposed to do it? So I think this will clear matters up, so.
It's just strictly for fire protection, it's not have anything to do with the law enforcement side, correct?
No, this is strictly fire. Okay, Debbie, call that.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
That motion carries. Moving to item F, this is resolution 2026-10. This is approval of the FY 25 audit. You've got the resolution before you, and it states that the City of Fayetteville employed the firm of Matlock Clements to complete the audit for the City of Fayetteville's financial statement of government activities, business type activities, major funds, aggregate remaining funds for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2025. In the report, Matlock Clements has presented its audit report to the board. And in consideration of foregoing, it is resolved by the Board of Mayor and Aldermen of the City of Fayetteville, Tennessee, and the City of Fayetteville is hereby adopts the independent audit report that was prepared by Matlock Clements. Do I have a motion to accept?
Motion to accept.
Motion by Alderman Keenan, second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Alder. Any discussion? Hearing none, Debbie, we call the vote.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
That motion carries. Item G, this is resolution R 2026-11. And this resolution is approving the employment of Matlock Clements to conduct the city's annual audit for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2026. When we first went into this agreement with Matlock Clements, it was a year-to-year agreement, renewable for 3 years. So this is to approve for them to continue for this year's audit. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Faulkner, second.
Second.
Alderman Keenan. Any discussion? Debbie, call the vote.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
That motion carries. Item H, this is ordinance number 2026-07. This is to, it's an amendment to the budget for the fiscal year 2026. And in this, you will find that there is a revenue expenditure adjustment in the amount of $3,313. And that is going to the fire department, go back in their budget for replacing equipment throughout the fire. Also, in section 2, you will see that there's another revenue and expenditure adjustment in the amount of $1,750. And that is an administration expenditure, and then their budget will be increased by $1,750. And then section 3 is revenue and expenditure adjustment. It was a grant revenue in the amount of $2,000 that would be placed in the police department for, expenses there. Do I have a motion to approve this ordinance?
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Allen, second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Keenan. Any discussion? Debbie, call the vote.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
That motion carries. Item I, this is ordinance 2026-08. This is the sanitation rate increase. You have been provided a list. This came out of Public Works. It went through the committee, it went through, the work session. And this ordinance is, to raise the rate of the sanitation to $23.75. If a household has additional carts, for each additional cart, it will be $15. The commercial and industrial, there's an increase there, and there is a schedule for 1 cart, 2 carts, 3 carts, up to 5 carts, and their cost is there. Director Williams said that he will get with every commercial business that has a question and see what their needs really are, so he will take care of that. Churches will be charged the commercial fee rate. Apartment complexes with 5 or more apartments will be charged the commercial fee rate, and hardships rate will be $10 per month. Anyone that feels they have a hardship, you need to contact the director at the Public Works Department, and he will work with you. That department will work with you, his staff. Right now, we do not have anyone on the hardship list, and that's good. We feel like our rates are very reasonable. The staff went back and did a survey, and at the time, the city was $19. Huntsville is $21.50. Dyersburg is $22. Winchester is $24.28. McMinnville is $24. Shelbyville is $25. And with the county, Richardson is charging $24. So we are still under on a lot of these comparisons. So this ordinance would raise the rate of the sanitation, and that the funds are to go into the sanitation fund. They cannot be commingled with any other fund, and then the funds are used to take care of that department. That means the drivers, trucks, the city can help with a capital expense, but everything else has to go directly into that department fund. So do I have a motion on this ordinance?
Motion to approve.
Motion by Alderman Alder, second.
Second.
Second by Alderman Keenan. Any further discussion? Debbie, call the vote.
Mr. Bradford?
Aye.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
That motion carries. The final item that we have tonight is Resolution 2026-12. It's approval to accept the Tennessee Rescue Squad grant. This is a grant that came to the fire department. I was notified of this grant and sent it on to the fire department, let them look at it. It was for a rescue squad, but when you look at what our fire department does and what they run into every day, they are a rescue squad also. And so they were able to, the amount of the grant is $50,500. There is no match to this grant, so that's, we like those type of grants. The city does not have to pay anything toward that. They will spend that amount in, for 2 sets of rescue PPE outfitting, that's $4,100. 28 pairs of PPE gloves, that's $2,240. 2 AEDs, that's $4,000. 1 extrication combo tool, $16,150. And 2 vehicle stabilization kits for $24,000. And we've already applied for this. It has been awarded, and we need this resolution to accept the money. So do I have a motion to accept?
Motion to accept.
A motion, Made by Vice Mayor Bradford, second by Alderman Keenan. Any discussion? Okay, Debbie, call the vote.
Mr. Keenan?
Aye.
Mr. Faulkner?
Aye.
Ms. Small?
Aye.
Mr. Alder?
Aye.
Ms. Allen?
Aye.
Mr. Bradford?
That motion carries. And if anybody has any questions of what all that equipment is, Chief Hardwick can tell you, so. And with that, our meeting is adjourned. Thank you.